Hello and welcome back to Eldritch Horror the Dreamlands Turn 3. Before we get going, we're going to stop by the investigators and just take a quick refresher on what's going on with them, and then we'll come back to the main board. Okay, here we are with the investigators. Gloria is again going to be our first investigator. You'll see why in just a second. And she is only down 3 sanity and is still paranoid. Amanda Sharp is next. She still has full health and sanity, but she does have a debt condition. Akashi is down 2 health and 2 sanity and doesn't really have any other assets. And Daisy is going to be our last investigator. She's down 1 health and still cursed. So, back to the main board. Okay, here we are back in the Dreamlands, and as I mentioned, we're going to start with Gloria in Dilathleen, and for her first action, she's going to do the action on her investigator card, which we haven't had a chance to do yet. If you're on a city space, gain 1 tome asset of your choice from the reserve or the discard pile. So we're going to go over to the assets and figure out what she's going to take. Okay, in the reserve we only have 1 tome, and that is the Tome of Secrets. Once per round you may spend 1 focus in place of spending a clue. When you perform a focus action, recover 1 sanity. So she's going to take that. And then we're going to refill the asset reserve. And it is refilled with a Profane Tome, so she might be able to grab that one next time. Roll 1 die when resolving a will test during a combat encounter. So back to the Dreamlands. Okay, and for Gloria's second action, she is actually going to focus. And thanks to this Tome of Secrets, when she focuses, she is going to recover an additional sanity. So here's her focus. And a sanity. And that's it for Gloria Goldberg. Next up is Amanda Sharp. So Amanda is still stuck in Ulthar, City of Cats. There she is. And for her first action, she's going to try to get rid of her debt condition. So her influence is a 3. So we'll see if we can get lucky here. We do not get rid of her debt condition. That's a bummer. And for Amanda's second action, she is going to focus. And, as you may remember, she has this righteous condition that says when you perform a focus action or a rest, gain a focus to recover sanity. And again, she doesn't need sanity, but she can sure use an extra focus. So she's actually going to take 2 focus tokens for this 1 focus action. And one of the reasons why that's important is we discovered last time on the back of her quick study card, she only gets to keep that extra condition if she has a focus. So we're going to try to keep Amanda Sharp focused. And that is it for Amanda. Alright, Akashi is on the moon. I've decided the moon is my favorite location in Eldritch Horror, because you're on the moon. Alright, for her first action, she is going to rest, and she's going to recover 1 health. So there's her 1 health. And for her second action, she is going to focus as well. I'm going to spend a lot of time focusing this turn. There's a focus. Basically, we want to keep her on the moon so she can do that research encounter and get a clue. Possibly help with that mystery. We'll see what happens there. And that is it for Akashi. Next up is Daisy Walker. Alright, Daisy's going to have a fun turn. First off, she's going to do a travel action here to Rome. And then, using her Astral Travel card, says when you perform a travel action you may spend a sanity to move 1 additional space along any path. She's going to continue moving. to Istanbul. And here's that sanity that she spent. Okay, next, she is actually going to rest and regain 1 sanity. And remember, with Hypnos, you can only regain sanity or health, not both. But what you may remember about Daisy is she says, when you perform a rest action, you may perform 1 additional action on a ritual or a tome possession you have. And so we're going to do that for a 3rd action. And we are going to use the Arcane Insight spell for the ritual spell. Action, choose yourself or another investigator. She's going to choose herself. And test lore -2. Roll 1 additional die for each tome possession she has. So her lore is a 4. -2 would be 2. She has 2 tomes, which will bring it up to 4. And she has her book of spells with a +2. So she will actually be rolling 6 dice. We do want to remember that she is cursed, so we need to get at least 1 6 on this. So let's see if we can get a 6 out of this. Well, that's not good. We got a 6. I'll take it. All right, and then we flip the card. Achieving ultimate knowledge requires only a small sacrifice. Lose 1 health. Well, I'll take it. So here's her health. And she gets herself a clue, which is going to be super useful for helping to try to solve this rumor we have down here. And that is it for the investigators phase. Next up, the encounter phase. Okay, first up in the encounter phase is Gloria, and she is on that space with that carrier night gaunt. And it's already got 1 health taken off of it. There it is. And if you remember, it's got 2 toughness, takes 2 will to prevent from losing any sanity, and it's a strength -1 check. And we're going to see if we can't do 1 damage to it. Okay, Gloria's will is a 3, and there isn't anything that boosts that. So we'll see if we can get 2 successes out of 3 dice. We got 1 success, so Gloria is going to lose 1 sanity. That's not too bad. And then a strength -1. Her strength is a 1, but she's going to use her enchanted cane that gives her a +3. So she'll be rolling 3 total dice for this test. And we're looking for just 1 success here. She does have a focus if we need to spend it, but we don't need to. We got a 5. So she only needed 1 to prevent losing any damage, and it already had 1 health on it, so I cannot get this to focus. There we go. So this guy is history. Now, we did pass both of these tests. Gloria, actually, let me think about this for a second. Gloria could move 2 spaces, and she could end up in the underworld. And from the underworld, she could actually end up at the Himalayas. And she can use a focus instead of a clue once per turn because of her Tome of Secrets. I was going to have her close the gate, but I almost think it would be more useful. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to change my plan. So we're going to have, you may choose to have this monster lose no health, and we're going to do that. If you do, you and this monster move to a space within 2 spaces. Is that still what we want to do? If she moves to the underworld, she can't take a local action this turn. And the rumor card, let me see here. The rumor card says after investigator resolves an expedition encounter, he can spend the clue. No, I think we'll just have Daisy keep. No, we're going to keep to the plan. If I would have been able to do it this turn, I think I would have, but it's going to be another turn anyway. Daisy's going to be in position to do that next turn anyway. We're just going to let Daisy handle it. So, never mind. This Carrier Nightgaunt is history. Back in the bag. Okay, so the original plan was to take out the Carrier Nightgaunt and choose a gate encounter. So let's do that. Okay, Gloria is in the past. And remember, for her and other investigators, roll 1 additional die on other roll encounters. So that's a good thing here. The past, you find yourself standing in front of antique scientific equipment. According to the papers, the year is 1771. You read through the notes and try to interpret the nature of the experiment's lore. It's not too bad. Gloria's got a pretty good lore. She's got 3 dice. There we go. And she's going to get 1 additional die for her lore. And I don't see anything else that helps her. So, looking for at least 1 success. We got 1 success. All right. Next. Joseph Kerwin was using this lab to revive dead wizards from their ashes and interrogate them for arcane knowledge. Using his notes, you close this gate. The rest of his results may also prove useful. You may become delayed to gain 1 spell. Well, I don't think being delayed is going to help Gloria all that much. I think we need to use her to do some other stuff. So we'll close the gate. We're not going to become delayed. Now, if you remember our mystery is after investigator closes the gate during another roll encounter, I have to spend a clue and discard a talent. She doesn't have a clue or a talent, but we do have to keep that in mind that we can't just close all of our gates. We actually need the gates open to be able to do this active mystery. So, but we'll get rid of this gate anyway. Not a bad turn for Gloria. Next up, Amanda Sharp. So Amanda is an Ulthar, and we're going to try to get her some more talent conditions. So, draw another card here, and we'll see what we get. A majestic feline regards you with an air of condescending approval, verging on homicide. Oh, you own a cat too? You may spawn 1 gate to entertain the self-proclaimed Empress of Cats. That is a terrible deal. If you spawn the gate, she climbs onto your shoulder, but only after making it clear that she does not need you. Gain the Miss Doyle unique asset. Ugh. We didn't get a talent, but I don't know what the Miss Doyle unique asset does. So let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's spawn a gate. Okay, the gate we're spawning, we already knew from the gate stack was face up, was Heart of Africa. And let's draw a monster. This is probably a terrible idea because I'm putting a red gate on, and red is coming up next, so Doom is going to come up next. But I want to see what the Miss Doyle card does. Alright, here's our monster. It's a cultist. Okay, let's see what this does. When you gain this card from the deck, gain 5 clues. See, I knew this was a great idea. You may spend 1 clue to add 1 success to your test result when resolving a test on the Dreamlands sideboard. Interesting. So the Empress of Cats gives us 5 clues. Still didn't get an extra talent condition, though. 4, 5. Alright, so here's the 5 clues. This was probably a terrible idea. Alright, up to Akashi. Akashi is on the moon down here, and we're going to do a research counter to try to get that clue. So the moon is a wilderness space, because of course there are no cities on the moon. You keep an eye out for other travelers as you traverse the heavily wooded trail. Observation, -1. Okay, Akashi's observation is only a 2. So So we're looking for one die here. She does have a focus. Oops. There we go. Let's see what happens. 4. Not good enough. Let's spend our focus and see if we can't get this. 6. We will take it. Awesome. Okay, let's go back here. If you pass, you encounter a group that shares rumors of dreams that can harm your physical body. Gain this clue and one additional clue. If you fail, you do not see another living soul for days, lose a sanity. Awesome. Well, we're going to take one additional clue here, give that to Akashi, and we're going to take this clue and give it to Akashi. We are rife with clues now. That rumor card doesn't stand a chance. Alright, back to the main board with Daisy Walker. Okay, here we are with Daisy, and she's going to have an Istanbul encounter. And here we go. A stranger joins you. Gain one random ally asset from the deck. That sounds good. Let's grab this here and look at it. That is not an ally. This is an ally. We got the Chief Inspector. Gain +1 observation. Gain +2 observation during research encounters. Cool. Give that to Daisy. And I almost forgot that she's cursed, so this could end very poorly here. This person wants to find a book called The Hidden Pearl, observation -1. Well, we just happened to boost our observation, so how awesome is that? Her observation is a 2. She does get a +1 from the Chief Inspector. Let me see if she gets anything else. No. Nope. We are looking for 2 successes. Or 2 dice. We're looking for 1 success. And it has to be a 6. So come on, Daisy. That's a fail. She does have a clue, but we're just going to take whatever bad thing happens here. If you pass, you improve a skill of your choice. If you fail, the search gets noticed, gain a pursuit condition. So here's our pursuit deck. Hopefully this won't be too bad. And we have drawn Hunted. When you perform a travel action, you may roll a die. On a 5 or 6, discard this card. On a Reckoning, test observation. If you fail, flip it. So we are now hunted. In addition to being cursed. Okay, and that's it for the encounter phase. Next up, the Mythos phase. Okay, here we are back with the Mythos phase, and Gloria is our first investigator, so she will draw this card. We will see what it is. Alright, Omen movement. So we're going to move the Omen to red. Do we have any red gates? Yes, we just spawned the Heart of Africa over here, so we're going to have Doom go down by 1. Miss Doyle, I hope you're worth it. Okay, next, Reckoning. Starting with monsters. The Cultist does not have a Reckoning symbol on it. The only other monster we have is that Crazed Mob. Okay. Sorry, a little bit of a camera problem there. We have our Crazed Mob. And on his Reckoning, we need to roll a die. On a 1 or 2, we're going to advance Doom by 1. But through the power of positive thinking, we are not going to roll a 1 or a 2. That's right, it's a 6, so we're not going to advance Doom. So that's it for the monsters. Next we're going to do Hypnos. Each investigator moves 1 space toward the nearest space on the Dreamlands sideboard unless he spends a sanity. And as it turns out, the three girls in the Dreamlands are already on the nearest space in the Dreamlands, so they're going to be fine. And we're going to move over to the main board and see what Daisy's going to do. Okay, we're back here at the main board, and Daisy is going to move one space toward the Dreamlands, which it will be over here to space 17. She could as well go to the pyramids, but it helps us go here because on our next turn she can then move to the expedition encounter space and see if we can't get rid of this rumor. So that's it for Hypnosis Reckoning. Next, we're going to do any rumor cards. So with this one, we discard one Eldritch token. We're now down to 3 Eldritch tokens on that card. Not good. And last, we're going to do possessions and conditions. So we'll go over to the investigators and do that. Okay, starting with Gloria. She is paranoid. She has a paranoia condition. And she's going to test will. Her will is a 3. And she doesn't have anything that boosts that. And she did not... Oh, that's not really very in frame. That's a fail. So let's go back to the paranoia. We saw this last turn, actually. You felt the anger coiled up inside of you for such a long time, you just can't control it any longer. You lash out at anyone near you. Each other investigator on your space loses 2 health, and you discard 1 ally asset. Well, fortunately for her, she doesn't have any ally assets. Daisy Walker got one last turn, but Gloria didn't. And she's also going to test her Find Gate. Now remember, we saw this last turn, and if we can get 2 successes, we can turn the entire gate stack face up. So let's hope for 2 successes here. Does she have anything she can help with? No. Nope. So she has a lore of 3, and we'll see if we can get 2 successes. 2 successes! That's what I'm talking about. Alright. 2+. You can read much from the stars. Reveal each gate in the gate stack, then flip this card. Awesome. And that's it for Gloria. We're going to go back to the gate stack now. Alright, here we are back at the gate stack. And I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. It did say reveal every gate in the gate stack. So we have Himalayas, we have Sydney, and we're going to reveal Shanghai, San Francisco, Buenos Aires, Istanbul, the Amazon, Tunguska, Tokyo, Rome, Antarctica. That's always a good one to get down near the bottom. It's possible to get to Antarctica. Arkham, Ulthar, the Pyramids, and last, London. So I guess we will play with the gate stack face up. Okay, let's head back to Amanda Sharp. All right. Amanda has this debt condition. Some men have come to collect on your debt. Flip this card. Make a deal. Walk into the alley, you hear the distinct ticking of a watch. An intruder dressed in a fine black suit stands in the shadows. He tells you that he'll help you in exchange for an undefined favor. You may gain a Dark Pact condition. If you do not, the ticking noise begins to hypnotize you. Advance doom by 1, then discard this card. Well, we just could not get rid of this debt. So we either advance doom by 1 or we get a Dark Pact. We're going to advance doom by 1. So doom right now is at 10, and now it's at 9. Discard the debt. Okay, she also has a righteous card, and that one says you may flip this card. I think I'm going to hold on to that for right now and not flip it quite yet. I like where she can do rest and recover focus. I think that kind of works well with her abilities, so we're just going to hold on to that one for right now. Up next is Akashi, and she doesn't have any possessions or conditions. And last is Daisy Walker. She is cursed, haunted, and she has astral travel she needs to test for. So first off, we're going to test cursed, and we're going to get rid of the cursed condition. So roll a die on our 4, 5, or 6, discard this card. There we go. That's a 2. Daisy Walker remains cursed. Okay. That's no good, because now I got to test the other stuff. Hunted, test observation. If you fail, flip this card. There we go. Fortunately, her observation is slightly higher with the Chief Inspector, so she'll be rolling 3 dice. But she's cursed, so she's going to need a 6. And there are no successes there, so let's see what happens when she's hunted. Hunting beast. You thought your nerves were just getting the better of you, but now you've been trapped in a dead-end alley. A monster ambushes you. Then flip this card. We don't even get rid of it. Alright, a monster ambushes you. I believe we're just going to pick a monster from the monster bag, but let me just double check that real quick. Thought I wasn't going to have to do any combat during this encounter. Well, after Gloria took out that monster. So, here's the monster bag. What does Daisy Walker get to fight? We have drawn a Shan. There we go. Will -1, has 2 toughness. Physical resistance. If you lose sanity from the horror test, advance doom by 1 unless you spend a clue. Ugh. That is not good. Okay, let's see what Daisy can do here. This gets worse and worse all the time. So Daisy's will. Ha! Remember when I made fun of that Holy Cross last turn? +2 will during combat encounters. So she actually has a will of 5. And it's a test -1, so we're going to go with 4 dice, and we need a 6. We really need a 6. We got a 6. Okay, we only got 1. Yeah, so we still lose 1 sanity. We needed 2 6s. Yeah, that wasn't good. Okay, so we lose the 1 sanity. 1 sanity. Advance doom by 1 unless you spend a clue. Alright, so we needed the clue for the rumor card. But she has 2 actions, which means she can move and still summon a... She can still get a clue. The problem is if she fails her roll next turn. I don't want to advance doom again. I'm going to lose the game if I don't solve that rumor. Alright, we're going to count on Daisy failing her rolls, and we're not going to spend the clue. So we're going to advance doom by 1. Yep. Okay, doom is now down to 8, and we are going to do a physical resistance. Be nice to get a 6 on this one. Now, she only has a 1 for strength, and she doesn't have anything that helps her. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get a 6 here. That's a 3. Okay. So she does lose 1 health, and doesn't defeat the monster. So this goes back in the monster bag. And Daisy is having not a great game. Down to 2 health. She needs to rest next turn. Okay. Astral Travel is the last one that she needs to test. So, test lore and flip this card. Well, at least her lore is good. Her lore is a 4. And she gets a +2 from her book of spells, so it's a 6. So we're rolling 6 dice. And let's see what we can get. I got 1 6. That's not too bad, hopefully. Okay, on a 1, traveling the void has put great strain on your mind. Lose a sanity. On a 0, we have to move to a random space. On a 2+, we could discard a detained condition or a pursuit condition. Hey, I have a pursuit condition, but I didn't get 2+. Curse you, Daisy Walker, for being cursed. Oh yeah, lose the sanity. So. Alright, that is it for the Reckonings. Let's go back to the main board for the gate. Okay, so we're done with the Reckoning, and we're going to spawn a gate now. I just realized that this is going to be very bad for us, because we get the Himalayas. Actually, that's not true. In the Dreamlands, instead of spawning the gate, here on the Himalayas it says go to the underworld, and so we're going to spawn this in the underworld. Okay, here we are on the Dreamland sideboard, and here's our Himalayas gate. And because there was the Dreamland token, this guy right here, says to the underworld, and it has a local path, so instead of spawning a gate on the Himalayas, we spawn it in the underworld. So, gate spawned, monster. Maybe I will get another Shan. Maybe something easy like cultist. What do we get? A hunting horror. That is less than easy. 3 toughness, 3 horror. On a reckoning, move this monster to the nearest space containing an investigator, then an investigator on that space immediately encounters it. Not a good monster. Okay. That's the gate. Back to the Mythos card. A cold, bitter wind howls through the trees, and people everywhere cling to their fires and blankets. The chill has settled into your bones, and there's no warmth to be found. Tide of despair. Each investigator loses 2 health and 2 sanity unless he discards a blessed condition. Well, that's not good. Let's go back over to the investigators and see what happens. Alright, so starting with the lead investigator, Gloria, she loses 2 health and 2 sanity. Amanda Sharp. Akashi. And continuing the disastrous turn for Daisy Walker, she loses her last 2 health. No! Alright, Doom goes down again. I don't think things are working out well for us. So we will take all of Daisy's conditions. Her conditions get discarded. All of her assets will end up in a pile. And we'll choose a new investigator to carry on Daisy's legacy, hopefully not being cursed. I'll go ahead and choose that off camera, and next turn we'll reveal who we're going to play with. So that's the end of turn 3. Hopefully you'll join me next time for Eldritch Horror: The Dreamlands turn 4. Thanks for watching.